Hello, everyone. You're listening to Psychology Outside the Box. My name is Dr. Flower. I have a PhD in psychology, so I'm not a wannabe or a knockoff. I've been teaching college and university courses for 20 years. Psychology is a vast field that connects to many things in your life. If you have a curious mind, you're definitely in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the ride. I love being married. It's so great finding that one special person that you want to annoy for the rest of your life. People probably warned you that marriage is tough, but you thought that yours would be different, that it wouldn't be so challenging. Although marriage can be an amazing part of life, it's not always an easy one. Apparently, marriage is the number one cause of divorce. Does that even make sense? Whether you've been married for 30 days or 30 years, even the best marriages can reach the point of no return. The divorce rate in Canada is about 40%, and in the United States, close to 50%. This might be a little scary to anyone considering making a lifetime commitment to one partner. Maybe you think that we learn from our mistakes, that divorce teaches you how to make better choices, and all you need is a second chance at love. Well, think again. Approximately 60% of second marriages and 70% of third marriages end in divorce. So the advice that if at first you don't succeed, try again, doesn't really work for remarriages. The first divorce is the hardest, but apparently it gets easier after that. The median duration of first marriages that end in divorce is just under 8 years, while the median duration of second marriages that end in divorce is around 7 years. This may confirm the notion of the 7-year itch, which was popularized by the 1955 movie with Marilyn Monroe. The life of the average married woman in the 1950s was very different from today. It was a time that saw younger marriages, more kids, and very few divorces. Young girls were supposed to be housewives instead of educated professionals. Very few women worked after getting married. They stayed at home to raise the children and keep house. Dad's role was to be the breadwinner. Dinner would be on the table, ready and waiting for the husband on his return from work. The house would be clean and tidy, the children fed and washed. The man was considered the head of the household in all things. Should a woman find herself in a loveless or violent marriage, she was often trapped. She had no money of her own and no career. But many changes have happened in the last 70 years or so. As Dorothy said in the Wizard of Oz movie,
"Toto, I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore."
Likewise, we too are now in a strange and unfamiliar place, far from what used to be comfortable surroundings. The landscape related to families has changed a lot. Many changes were triggered by the gender equality movement. More women are getting an education and have jobs outside the home, often in what used to be male-dominated professions. Divorce is far more common and is no longer something to be ashamed of. It has become easier and more acceptable in our society. Inevitably, this has led to an increase in single-parent families, usually headed by mom and with one or more children. In the 1950s, wives were portrayed vacuuming or doing other household chores in cocktail dresses and high heels. Women were expected to be housewives, caregiver for the children, and still look fantastic and have dinner ready when her man arrived home from work. I guess vacuuming is just not as glamorous as it used to be. Most women no longer dream of being housewives. They want satisfying careers and also marriages. And when that doesn't work, they want a divorce. According to Michael Rosenfeld, a professor at Stanford University, women are more likely to file for divorce than men in almost 70% of cases. According to the National Center for Health Statistics, the number is more like 80%. Among college-educated women, this number jumps to 90%. As one meme says, you can't fix stupid, but you can certainly divorce him. The tendency for women to initiate a divorce was true for all age ranges, regardless of whether the couple was in their early 20s or in their 90s. On the other hand, there was no significant difference between the percent of breakups initiated by women and men in non-marriage relationships. Rosenfeld argues that for women, marriage is loaded with old-fashioned expectations and hasn't progressed to fit the current state of gender equality. For instance, the women who reported more dissatisfaction also indicated that loss of freedom and controlling husbands were one of the major causes of their discontent. Women today are working more than they ever have been, but that doesn't mean that their domestic duties have decreased. More married men contribute to household tasks today than before, but still, the division of labor isn't equal, especially for working mothers. Research shows that when both parties in a marriage are employed full-time, the woman still does more housework than men in the relationship. So if a woman has high expectations and responsibilities from her career, and also high expectations and responsibilities at home, and does not have enough support from her partner, she may not find the marriage to be in her best interest anymore. January is considered divorce month by many lawyers. Put that in your calendar. Don't wait for problems to get too serious. See the warning signs and address them early. You have to talk with your partner openly and honestly, but quietly and calmly. Yelling, insults, and blaming will push the marriage over the edge. You and your partner have to decide together if the relationship is worth saving. Do try to remember the reasons why you married this person in the first place. Of course, sometimes those reasons were really bad. For example, all your friends are married and you don't want to be left out. Your family is driving you nuts because you think being single is worse than being in an unhappy relationship. Mistaking lust for love. Your biological clock is tick, tick, ticking. You really want that sparkly ring, dress, and amazing wedding gifts. You think that marriage will magically end all the fights and fix your relationship. Marrying for money. Using marriage to trap the other person. And many other bad reasons. Even marrying for love can be bad if the other person loves you a lot less than you love him or her. Consider couples therapy. This can help with any or all of the above issues, even if it seems pretty hopeless and you feel that things will never get better. If both partners are committed to making their marriage better, a lot can be done to improve your life together and save the marriage. So why have divorce rates gone up so dramatically over the past 60 or 70 years? This is a complex question, but an important part of the answer involves changing cultural beliefs and values. In North America, prior to the 1960s, divorce was viewed as a drastic action, something done only under the most extreme circumstances. Cultural beliefs told women that it was better to suffer in silence than to break up a home and family. On the other hand, in India, most marriages are still arranged. The current cultural expectation in India is that marriage is for life. Divorce is stigmatized and will bring shame and dishonor on the family and is frowned upon by society. Family and society pressure make it hard to break free. And so India holds the record for lowest divorce rate, around 1%. In most Western countries such as Canada and the United States, cultural beliefs about divorce have changed a lot. Divorced individuals are no longer viewed as unusual or somehow flawed. Divorce laws changed, making it much easier and fairer in addressing financial concerns. The rising financial independence of women has also boosted the divorce rate. More women today have enough income to leave a troubled marriage. Modern women want more from marriage than did their grandparents, and they are not as willing to accept less. They expect marriage to be both personally fulfilling and a foundation for family life and rearing children. Back in the 1950s and 1960s, people were not necessarily fulfilled from marriage. For instance, a wife might have thought the husband was a good provider and they had a nice home to live in, and that was okay. People were happy enough with that. Today, couples have different needs and higher expectations. It's not just about financial stability. Divorce started to rise in the 1970s as the soulmate model of marriage based on fulfillment became more popular. What people tend to say now is, I got married because I'm in love and I found my soulmate, someone who is going to help me to become a better person and achieve a deep level of meaning in my life. That's a lot of pressure. Throughout the ages, many couples have loved each other deeply, but only rarely in history has love been seen as the main reason for getting married. For most of history, it was inconceivable that people would choose their mates on the basis of something as fragile and irrational as love. Now, most of us wouldn't even dream about getting married unless it was for love. More men pop the question in December than any other month, including February. But before you say yes, you might want to ask your sweetie why he wants to marry you. If he says, because I love you, you might want to tell him that's just not a good enough reason. Psychologists believe that romantic relationships are characterized by two kinds of love: passionate love and companionate love. Passion reaches its peak in the early phases of love. Gradually, passion declines in favor of intimacy and commitment, which form the basis for companionate love: warm, trusting affection and mutual caring. Any long-term relationship requires mutual effort from both partners. With companionate love, couples can remain in love even after the passion fades. So married couples should be aware that these changes in the relationship are quite normal. Plan for them and create ways to keep the excitement alive. Research on newlyweds' feelings and behavior over the first few years of marriage indicates that husbands and wives gradually felt less in love and less satisfied with married life. Forever love is more than the passionate stage of love when you don't see each other's fault. Forever love does not look like a perfect relationship. You will have arguments and face obstacles as a couple. But you do not give up even during the difficult times. You understand that every relationship will have hiccups and bumps along the way. But it is your job to persevere through them because you love the other person enough to withstand the difficult times and work through them. You don't withdraw your love when things are not going your way. And even in times when you feel tempted to quit, you choose not to. Happy marriages nearly always survive, but you have to make the relationship happy. There is no magic wand. Make this a priority and work on it every day. There are endless number of ways to improve marriage and prevent divorce. There is no single list that works for everyone. Find those strategies that work for you. What do you mean you can't do it? Yes, you can. Remember the little blue train engine that could and did finally get over the mountain. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. There, you did it. There is no special list that will work for everybody, but I'll make some suggestions anyway to get you started. Try to make 5 times more positive comments than negative ones. Compliment your partner in private and public. Be kind and considerate. Make it a habit. It gets easier the more you practice. Look for the positives. Ignore any small negatives. Reduce destructive behavior like anger, insults, blame, hostility. Remember, you are a team. Plan together and work together. Do things together that are fun and exciting for both of you. But sometimes give each other space and spend time apart. Treat your partner like your best friend every single day. Talk more, fight less. Talk honestly and openly, but with respect. Decide together how money will be handled. Agree to disagree in some areas. Forgive your partner and sometimes apologize. Maybe you were wrong. Find time to discuss interests, dreams, frustrations, and feelings. Be quiet and listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Conflict is normal. Try to see the other's viewpoint. This is called empathy. Compromise, give and take. Choose what's really important to you. Let the small things go. Laugh and have fun together as much as possible. Don't worsen an argument. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Tone down. Offer a kind word instead of blame or a put down. Share childcare and household responsibilities. Appreciate your partner, even the little things. Say thank you. For serious problems, seek outside help early. Don't wait for years. Well, all good things must come to an end, including this podcast. But in the words of the Terminator, I'll be back. And I hope you will too. Okay, folks, it's all over for today. We're finished. We reached the end. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I will miss you so very much.